Now boarding all passengers to the bases.
Woo! We are live, y'all. Welcome. Hey, do me a favor. As you guys are coming in, please do me a favor and say your name and tell us where you're from. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure all these are working. Yes, they are. Hey, I'm joined by my friend Chris again from the Bass Channel.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Good to have you here. So, yeah, do me a favor. As you guys are coming in, say your name. Tell me where you're from. My name is Jamie. I'm from Los Angeles, California, but by way of Las Vegas, Nevada at the moment. I'm not sure that... Oh, yeah, the chats are coming in. Chris is also here in Las Vegas, Nevada with me. This is where he lives now. We both moved to the same place. Nathan from Belgium. Good to have you. Mauricio. Hola de Mexico. I know how to say that. I took the first year of Spanish twice. I didn't even get my 2 years in. Did you take 2 years?
I took 4. I went to a kind of a wacky school.
Wacky school? I didn't know they had those.
Yeah. They're called Christian schools.
Oh, okay. Wait. Which one? Where'd you go to?
Ventura County Christian.
Okay. No, I didn't.
Really small,
all right.
Very independent, low budget kind of thing.
Like elementary all the way through high school?
No, I did. It's a K through 12 school, but I did 8th through 12th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
So for some reason, I took 4 years pre, and then Spanish 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Oh wow! So you're like fully fluent then?
I mean, I'm rusty now.
Okay.
I don't speak it just because for some reason it's real easy to make fun of me for pronunciation. But I can understand it written for the most part. Again, little rusty, but I get it's.
I like it. That's
I
good.
like that it's an easy language to learn. Like
I did not find it easy.
I have nothing but sympathy for people who are trying to learn American English as their second or third language.
Oh yeah, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Hey, we got Will. Welcome, bro. Good to have you. Long time no see, man. Dustin's coming in from Pittsburgh. Theodoxa. I've not seen that name before. Indonesia. Awesome. Good to have you. Professor Ramos from Portugal. Good to have you. Matthew, there's a piece of hair or something. It's obviously not mine, and I can see it. It's probably the dog's. Let's see. Carlos from Portugal also. Matthew, Belfast, NI. What do you think NI is? It's not Netherlands. Is there a state that's NI? No, that
Belfast, isn't that in United Kingdom, Ireland?
maybe is NI.
I'm geographically challenged.
I don't know. Hey, tell us where that is. We're interested. Fretless 6 coming in Kansas City. Volker from Deutschland. Hey, you know that's one that always interests me. Where did we get Germany from? When the place is called Deutschland, the language is called Deutsch, and we're like, yeah, German.
Yeah, I don't know, but I learned that those are endonyms and exonyms. Last time I was here, we talked about demonyms.
Okay, apparently we did. Good.
And endonyms is the term for a place for people who live there, and an exonym is the term for that place for people who live elsewhere. So we call it Germany, they call it Deutschland.
See, that's what you learn in private school, public education. We don't touch any of that
I didn't even
shit.
learn that in school. I learned that from Vsauce.
Okay, good. Dante from, I'm not even going to try with that. It's gone already. Finland. Jan. I'll bet that's Jan. Dang, these are going so fast. Somewhere Berkeley. Josh, good to have you from Ventura. Hey,
Josh.
man. We're going to get to see you today.
Yes, we are.
Kaya Swam Leon from Oklahoma. That does not sound like an Oklahoman name. But I butchered it anyways. My apologies. Ty from Bangkok. Good to have you. Matthew Ward in North Ireland. That's what NI. Okay, you were right. You were right.
All right, cool.
Okay,
I'm not as challenged as I thought.
There we go. Bass Players Anonymous. Ben coming in from Des Moines. Hey man. Evan, a wee bit late, but that's okay. We forgive you this time. Sahil from Bring Friday Funk Back. Man, I haven't done one of those in about 3 years. Aaron Kellum. Hey yo from. You're not from, well, you are from Illinois, but you're in Los Angeles right now. Or are you back home? I actually don't even know. Was a tribe called Germanen. Ooh, that's why we call it German.
Oh,
apparently.
Interesting. All right.
Thank
you.
you.
We learned something.
Thank you, Volker. We appreciate that. Sean says, shout out from Headstones, St. Pete, Florida. Woo! The Kellum himself. Portsmouth, birthplace of Dickens.
As in Charles?
Charles Dickens was what I was going to say, yeah. And we got Henrik from Denmark. Good to have you guys, man. So today, what we're doing something kind of special today. Again, this is my friend Chris, if you guys are just joining us today. He's a YouTuber from the Bass Channel. You can see their logo right there. Chris is a good friend of mine, lives about 10 minutes away from me.
Yeah, right about.
And his channel is called the Bass Channel, and they do a lot of gear reviews. Something I don't do too much of, but lately I've been doing these first impression live streams because I have a lot of fun doing them. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. I've not heard this rig. Actually, you guys can't even see the rig. Hold on. Now you can. I've not played this thing before. I don't know anything about what it sounds like. And this is going to be my first time playing it. And we're going to give you our first impressions of it. It is, I guess, just a bass amp, right? The Terror bass, lunchbox head. So pretty lightweight. That is a 112 cab. That is a Neo. I mean, he's not going to, but he could pick it up with one hand.
It's 26 pounds.
26 pounds, yeah. And also, we are not going to be hearing the speaker cabinet today. As you can see, it's not mic'd up. We're just going to go direct out of the head because there's not really an efficient way to mic it up in real time and, get a feel for what the cabinet's doing. Anything that we do would be modified or, interpreted by the microphones. So we're just going to be going out of the head today. And if you want to check out this amp even more, Chris, is there a video that's coming out on this or you haven't done it yet?
It's coming out Friday on the bass channel.
Okay, so he's done a video on doing a full demo. It's probably 10 minutes, something like that.
13 about
13 minutes, yeah. So he's got a full demonstration on this thing. I haven't heard it, haven't touched it yet. But if you guys are digging the way it sounds and you want to dive into it more, I didn't put the link in there. At the end of this, I'm going to put a link in the description and I'll also put it in the chat. And it comes out on Friday, but they'll be able to watch it. I mean, when will it be live?
I mean, if you put the link now, they can watch it as soon as this.
Okay, so stick around to the end. I'll put the link in the chat and I'll also drop it in the description. So if you want to hear more of it, you can check out. Well, I highly recommend you watch it.
And which, by the way, in that video, you will hear the speaker cabinet. Just to let you know.
All right, that's good to hear too. So as we're doing this, if you guys have any questions, and feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll be coming back over here and checking it out. And also, if there's anything you want to hear, I would love for this to be as interactive as possible. If you're like, dude, crank the bass knob all the way down and the treble all the way up and play with the pick. Okay. If there's anything in specific that you want to hear, let us know. We'll keep coming back to the chat. In fact, I'm doing that right now. Is there anything? Killer t-shirts, by the way. Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't make this one, but it's one of my favorites.
I make this one. I make this one, a jazz design, and a Stingray design.
Go check them out. And Russell says, I see you're kind of practicing social distancing. Yeah, actually, we're playing with a little bit of depth of field here because Chris is much taller than I am. So you see, I keep turning behind me. Otherwise, if we're sitting next to each other, you wouldn't even see his face. Agreed. Evan, also been really enjoying your videos. Yeah, Evan, killing it.
Evan
man.
has
Keep
videos?
it up. Evan has videos.
I got to check this out.
Evan is one of my students at thebassist.net.
Oh, cool.
And Evan, correct me if I'm wrong. You've only been playing for a couple years, maybe not even that. And he is killing it right now. He's in one band, just got asked to be in a second one.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah. Which is bad timing because you won't be able to go play any shows just yet. But Evan's killing it. Sahil says, can you play Can you play You Make Me Feel Like Dancing? You've got a cute way of talking. Yeah, down on me. Well, I guess that's one question we can answer. The bass totally works. Does everything sound okay? Can you guys hear the volume all right? That was my best attempt at playing Leo Sayers' You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. It's actually a really cool song that's got that awesome chorus. Da, 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 da. You make me feel like dancing and want to dance the night away. Very cool bass line. Go check it out. It's on Spotify and everywhere else. Russell says, hold on, Nathan, I want to hear it with a bass played with a fork. All right,
yeah.
I'll see what I can do. Evan Tears, correct. Hola, amigos, les saludo de Argentina. Hello from Argentina, my friends. Right?
That's how I would have said it.
Yeah. Very good. Awesome. I'm learning. I'm not learning. Hello. What about you? We're doing good, man. Can't complain. Sahil, you're very welcome. Sounds great. Russell says, I have a neighbor who practices bagpipes badly. Okay, I normally don't do this, but my favorite musician joke is about bagpipe. You know what I'm talking about. How do you get a bass player off your doorstep? Oh, you pay for the pizza. What's perfect pitch? That's when you throw a banjo in a dumpster and it doesn't hit the rim. But the best one, there's two answers for this, is why do bagpipe players move while they play? Do you know the answer?
Try to get away from their own sound.
That is one of them. One answer is to try to get away from the sound. There's a second answer. I'll accept both of them. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Beats me.
The answer is, why does a bagpipe player walk while he's playing? It's because it's harder to hit a moving target. Actually, my wife, she was walking the dog yesterday, and she was live streaming it, and there was somebody playing bagpipes like in the park and the next park over. So it's just like as loud as you can imagine. Trying to play, I think, Amazing Grace or something like that. It was pretty good.
You have to be really good with that instrument to play it.
Even,
otherwise,
I don't know. Even then, it might be too much.
Yeah.
Okay, sound is good. Awesome. Oh, wait, hold on. Russ says, my mate was sound engineer for Leo Sayer tour a couple years back. Man, that's awesome. Sweet. Okay, so let's dive into this pedal. Let's make some sound with it. Chris, why don't we do this? I'm going to come over to this screen, and Chris, can you walk us through this this amp and tell us what we've got? It looks pretty simple. I see 5 knobs and two switches.
It's exceptionally simple. So to get a little techie, it is a hybrid 500 watt amp. It weighs 10 pounds, lunchbox style.
Can you tell me what hybrid means?
Hybrid is, it has a tube in the preamp and a solid state power section. There's one tube in the preamp. It's an ECC83 or a 12AX7, as we know it here in the States.
Oh.
There is a 12AT7 effects loop send tube. The return is solid state, but the send is tube. And then the 500 watt solid state power. Got master volume. We've got a 3-band EQ, gain, clean switch, and I believe it's a 6 dB pad.
6, okay.
So what they're doing is, this is essentially a small, light, portable, and more affordable. It's about the closest you're going to get to their 8200B, which is kind of their flagship model. So it's basically that tone as close as they can get in a shrunken down hybrid package.
Because normally it's an all tube head?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And it's huge and it's heavy.
Yes. Yeah. That's the reason I don't really do tubes anymore, because that's way too freaking heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3-band EQ, gain, master volume, and pad. And then obviously a direct out, right?
Yes, and the direct out is post EQ and volume. So any control that you manipulate here will be translated through the EQ, or through the DI. Now,
I'm also not a big... Hey, Bangladesh, good to have you. Russell says, how much does the cab weigh? You said 26 pounds,
26
right?
pounds.
Because that is a 112. Again, we are not hearing the 112 right now. The only thing we are doing to this sound, if I come over here, I'm adding a little bit of compression just for you guys so that the volume's not jumping all over the place. So I'm going to turn the compressor off. No, I'm not. I'm on the wrong screen. Hold on. There's my mouse. Okay, compressor's off. Compressor's on. Just gave it a little tiny lift, but that's pretty much so the volume will stay the same. And then I've got a clean gain that I'm doing of 5 dB. Again, that's just in post, just for our level. So I'm not driving the preamp. You can see the preamp on the converter is at 0 dB. So this guy's doing pretty much all of the heavy lifting. No questions. So let's do this, man. I'm just going to play and tweak some knobs for me, dude.
Cool.
You guys can't see me. So everything's totally flat right now, right?
Yes.
Do me a favor. Let's try, like my go-to is to do the smiley face. Sorry, let me come over here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, smiley face.
I know what you're talking about.
Smiley face means we're going to do a little lift in the low end. We're going to scoop out some of the mids, and then we're going to do a lift again in the top end, and that creates like the smiley face.
I'm going to do a subtle smiley.
Subtle smiley, okay. Can you boost up the top end a bit more? And sure. I'm totally 100% on the P bass. So volume's all the way up, tone knob is all the way up too. I'm just going to play a blues.
I'm going to go a little bit more extreme with the smiley. Actually, I'm going to go as extreme.
Ooh, I like that.
Goes. So that is all treble, all bass, no mids.
I'm finding it pretty effortless to slap on it
Yeah, it's a very subtle but usable EQ band range.
So that right there is 100% bass and treble and nothing mid?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's as extreme as that'll go.
So typically that's pretty interesting. Typically with most amps, like they give you way more like headroom than you need. So if you go all the way up on the bass, it starts sounding terrible. If you go all the way down on the bass, it sounds terrible. You know,
Looking
like
at you, Tech 21.
yeah, if you can go between 0 and 100, you're capable of making your instrument sound bad. And it sounds like the maximum is 80 and the minimum is like 40. You know, the like narrowing the amount of damage you can do.
Yeah.
So hey, Dracula's here. Come here. Hey, best friend. Yeah. Want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Yeah. Oh, best friends. What are you doing? Dracula's always down to hang. Okay, so so the smiley face sound is pretty good. Do me a favor. Can you bring the bass down a little bit and bring some of those mids back? But actually, I want you to leave the treble. Oh, okay. Sorry. They put the bass all the way on the right. So you guys can't see what
it's
he just
a little
did.
Backwards, but yeah, bass is here. Obviously, mids are in the middle, and treble is on the left.
Okay, that's strange to me. I'm not gonna lie. That's my first impression because I saw him grab the bass knob and I was like, no, grab the. Oh wait, that's a bass clef. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just flip.
I do love their hieroglyphics though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The orange
I love 'em.
hieroglyphics. That's what I call IKEA when I'm putting together IKEA furniture. It's like, does anyone know how to read Swedish hieroglyphics? Can you drive it a little bit to get some gain?
Yeah.
So that's the volume, right?
This is the gain.
That's gain, and the other one's
This is volume. So I'm going to turn the volume down just a bit.
A little less gain.
Okay.
Yeah, I like dirty overdrive, not like full on. A little bit less of the bass, and the treble's still all the way up.
Treble's maxed. I can go a little more mid.
Man, I can't believe that treble is all the way up. That's
it's
in my opinion, that's awesome because I think for me, I leave the treble at 12 o'clock pretty much always, and that should sound flat. And right now with the treble all the way up, it's still whoops. I mean, it's not flat, but it's not like all that crazy top end.
Yeah, and we're direct too. We're not going through the speakers, so that's it's a very pleasant band.
I was going to say a very pleasant top end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what you guys are saying. Ash Factulu says, "Where are you from?" We're from Los Angeles, but Las Vegas now. Sahil says this thing has some SSL components, solid state logic.
There is no compressor in it. It's just. I mean, I'm assuming that's what he's talking about, right?
SSL makes more than compressors. Like
I've only ever associated SSL with compressor.
Yeah. The SSL is the iconic mixing console of the 1980s. So like Neve console, that would be 70s. SSL, that would be 80s.
Yeah, I can't speak either way to it.
Sure.
But maybe. Since we're on the subject, it does not have a compressor.
Okay, so. There you go. Yeah. Play Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. I have no idea what that is, but if I do, I'll play it. Johan says, "Hi, can you try it with another type of bass?"
We can.
Yeah, what do we got?
Well, this is a bass that I brought, and I did not get a chance to check it out in the video that I made, so I'm really excited to hear what this bass sounds like. This is my favorite bass. It is a 2015 Gibson SG.
Yeah,
the controls,
Gibson.
By the way, are just set up like a jazz bass, 2 volumes in a single tone. Short scale, 30.5 inches.
Yeah, sorry, I was re-recording the bass.
And Elixir stainless steel strings.
Okay. Different bass. These are round wounds. I would have put flats on this bass because I don't know. I haven't played this bass yet, but
I had flats on it for a while. It was cool, and then I got tired of it, so I went with the stainless steel. But like anything else, you like one thing, you get tired of it, you move on, and then you go back.
I don't have a lot of experience with the the EBO SG style bass. I have a Gibson Grabber.
Yeah, I love that thing.
It's actually right behind you. So I do know what Gibson basses feel and play like, but this one I always associate with mud.
Well, I have a feeling you're going to like that bridge pickup.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I typically pair them with flat wounds, just to kind of like accentuate the whoom, 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 whoom sound that the Gibson EBO and EB3 are kind of known for.
I want to address one question in the chat. Is it a neck diver? A little bit, but not nearly as bad as the Thunderbird.
Or the Gibson Grabber. Yeah, Gibsons are just notorious for neck dive. So I'm just, let me check the gain. Can you just boost the volume up a little bit more? Okay, kill the treble all the way. And I'm sorry, I wasn't all right, let me bring this back down. I'm going to turn off the compressor because I know it's definitely doing some work, but it sounds great with that compressor on. Ah, shoot, wrong screen, I think. There we go. Bridge pickup. Oh,
yeah, it's a really good tone. I like it.
I'm gonna bring this compressor back in. I like what it was doing.
Now I'm gonna go a little bit heavier on the mids here. Treble's still all the way down.
Here's where he's at.
Maybe a little more low end.
And just in case you guys don't know, when you're trying out gear for the first time, I highly recommend like playing the same thing over and over and over and over again so you can really hear the minute differences. Because, you know, I was playing this groove and then he makes a change and I go like, obviously it sounds way different all of a sudden because I'm even playing with a different technique and a different stuff. So, yeah. Anyways, let's come over here and see what we got. Sahil says, beautiful bass. One more question. At what level should we record bass in our recordings? You always want to shoot for minus 18 RMS. If I come back over here, you want to see the meter kind of living in this area between minus 24 and minus 12. Check this out. I'm going to turn this gain off that I'm doing. So here's what I'm recording at. So actually this is too hot for me. I would back it off. We just switched basses, but on the other one, it was balanced. Chris, why don't you just leave everything where it's at and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this right here, that's where you want to see the needle living, kind of in this area. And it's okay if your peaks get up minus 12, minus 9, minus 6, but you want the bass to live in minus 18 territory. And I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive because you're like, well, it's too quiet. Well, again, this is all digital technology, so I can come in here and add in plugins. And it's raising the volume, but it's doing so digitally. In the analog realm, when we increase volume and gain, we also increase hiss and noise. When you take zeros and ones and amplify them, you're not actually doing any amplification. So you're just raising the overall signal. So it's always better to do that in post. And also the plugins are calibrated for minus 18 as the analog hardware is designed. So if you're sending it signal that's too hot, it's going to be clipping before it even hits the plugin, and that's not what you want. So very technical answer. I apologize, but that's it. Poll for audience. Anyone else hearing intermittent audio snap? I'm not hearing anything.
No one else is either, it looks like.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Ben. Might be just you. No snap. Nathan says, I'd really like a hollow body bass. I would like that too.
Cool. Can we do one thing? Can we hear just the neck pickup real quick before we switch over?
And Chris, if you'll do me a favor, take your headphones off. There's in that gig bag over there. That's where my Starfire is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here's neck pickup only. Gosh, so I'm coming back. This compressor is adding so much juice. I'm going to take that off. So this is just the neck pickup. And this is what I'm talking about. People always ask why I like passive basses more than active. It's because on their own, that wasn't really doing it for me. But once I run it through some compression, that thumpy sound, I really like the way that passive basses react to outboard gear, compressors, EQs, and all that stuff, much more than active basses do. Kevin, good to have you, man. Thanks so much. Russell, does the meter show the input signal or the post? Both. It will show post. That's why I have to clear the plugins to show you what's going on. Okay, Fretless 6 is hearing occasional snaps and frame drops. Yeah, we're not hearing it on our end, and I'm not seeing it in the meter, so that could be a YouTube thing. Sorry, I'm not really sure, but here, maybe it's because I'm doing this. Is that the wrong thing? No, it's the right. All right. Hopefully it gets better. Is the snap coming in when I play, or is it just kind of intermittent? Anyways, which software am I using to record? This is Studio One. Sahil says, thank you so much. Understood everything you said about the DAW showing RMS levels. Yes, the DAW is showing RMS. While I'm playing, it's intermittent. You know, it could be the, let's turn the compressor off. Maybe something's happening over there. I haven't restarted my computer in a couple days, so that could totally be it also. Computers, technologies. Yeah, this is a very cool bass. There's a song that I'm going to play today, and I would like to use this one on it.
Okay, cool.
Unless this guy doesn't do it.
In the meantime, we got the hollow.
Okay. This is one of my favorite instruments. It is a 66 or 67 Guild Starfire. This has got a pretty hot output. Yeah, let's back the volume a little bit. Yeah, I like the drive. Oh. Let's come back over here to the settings.
We're back flat on the EQ, by the way.
Do me a favor, pull up the mids. Let's see what that does. Pull the output volume down a little bit. And let's start pulling the treble down. Let's see what happens.
That's
so subtle.
Yeah, very subtle.
And that actually, you might not, as a bass player, you might think that that's not a great feature, but in the studio, that's awesome because getting good tones on a recording, it's not about making big drastic cuts and dips. It's always these little tiny decisions, just rolling off the difference between 4K and 5K. Can you really hear? Maybe not, but in the context of a mix, once you combine all the other instruments that live in those frequencies, you do a little dip here, a little bit there, the little tiny decisions, death by 1,000 cuts, basically. So I like how subtle the changes are in the context of a mix. I bet it would be tremendous. Blah, 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 blah. Put that tone on top of some waffles. I've not heard someone say that before, but I like it. Add a drum loop in the timeline and play with tones and definitely help us to understand. That's exactly what we're going to do, except instead of a drum machine, I'm going to actually play some songs. In fact, you know what? Let's do one right now. No, before we do that, I want to say a quick thank you to Orange Amplifiers, which is currently my head. I know, normally I'm sitting right here, so this isn't a problem. But hey, Orange, thank you guys so much for making this possible, for sending Chris over this amplifier and letting us do this. So we really, really appreciate that. And also, I want to let you guys know a couple of things. On Friday, there's a new video going live at the YouTube channel. Woo! It's the second episode of The Money Notes. And this week, I chose Ramble On, a Zeppelin song, and the bass line by John Paul Jones. So in this case, we've got a bar of root fifth. We've got another bar of basically the same intention. Transplant the ramble on lick over those verse changes. It'll look just like this. So anyways, that video goes live on Friday, 2 days. Because today's Wednesday. I can't believe it. In about 48 hours, that video is going to go live. If you like the last one, essentially all I'm doing is I'm taking some of my favorite bass lines and I'm just figuring out what is that makes them so good, and then how do I apply that formula to something different. So check that out. And also the video that we were talking about in the beginning, Chris actually did a full demo video on this Terror bass, and here's a tiny little clip from that.
Oh goodness, no, it's not.
No, it is not. What in the world just happened? It was playing like two videos at once. All right, hold on. I might not be able to figure that out, but I'll try to play the clip for you later. That was both clips playing at the same time, by the way. That's how you know this is live, Chris.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't.
Because we're making this up as we go along.
I was skeptical.
I was skeptical. All right, hey, you know what? Let's play a song really quick. I've got one pulled up in the queue here, and I'll try to play that clip for you guys later. Let me see what this song is. Okay, so this song. Clear blue sky has no economy. The sun is free and loves to shine. I think this is going to be killer. This is a song called Happy, Happy, Happy. You'll find out why when it gets to the chorus. And this is an artist I used to work with like 5 or 6 years ago. And I called the genre of music Queedles because all of his songs sound like a combination between Queen and the Beatles.
Definitely heard that.
So I'm thinking perfect for the orange sound and either the hollow bass or the SG, but kind of going for that old school. I don't want to say McCartney, but just some sort of bass tone that would have lived in that time period. I think something like this will work. Maybe a little bit more mids.
The mids are cranked. Treble's almost all the way down.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Cool.
Hold on. What button do I want to press? Oh, let me say this also, by the way. I have not played this song in about 5 or 6 years. So I'm going completely off memory. I haven't even done a sound check on this one. So let's see how we do. Okie dokie. 2, 3. Clear blue sky has no economy. The sun is free and loves to shine. And every day is a perfect day when you're happy, happy, happy all the time. Every morning's watching flowers grow, holding hands and feeling fine. Slowing it down, we're just hanging around, and we're happy, happy, happy all the time. We don't know what we're laughing about, cracking up in every little thing.
Let's go smiley face.
Every word that comes out of your mouth reminds me of a song
I like that.
Here and now is where we want to be. We don't have to stand in line. There's no hurry, no need to worry. Happy, happy, happy all the time. I already messed it up. Man, that thing sounds great, dude.
Yeah, it really does.
Were you? Where did we start and where did you end up? What were you doing?
We started pretty much with almost no treble and mids about in the 3 to 4 o'clock range. And then at one point I went extreme smiley, and then I did a bass straight up, and then treble and mids both at about the 3 o'clock, and then I cut those treble back and then did the bass and mid boost at about 3 o'clock.
So again, I think it's pretty cool that like all the tweaks he's made. Okay, let me put it this way. So my impression is that the sound of this unit is the sound that it makes. And you can adjust the EQ a little bit, but it's not straying too far. And again, I think that's a really awesome feature. It's like, if you like the sound of this, it's going to sound like that. And we can do a little bit of taming in the top end and the bottom and the mids. But as I'm playing, It's not like, oh, that was drastically different. Fix it. Go back to what it was before. I couldn't even tell that you went extreme smiley.
Yeah, I know.
And all that. So it's definitely like it has a sound, it has a color, and it's not going for the market of like, oh, just this is the only thing you need. It can do, all these extreme different sounds from all these different, like it's pretty much, it sounds what it sounds like, and it's got some versatility, and that's pretty cool.
The way that I thought about the EQ is like it. When you sign up to get the orange tone, you're getting the orange tone. And depending on what instrument you're using, you can help tailor that instrument to get the orange tone. So like with that treble band and something like that SG Mudbucker, turn the treble up a little bit to get a little bit more clarity, but you're still getting the orange tone. You're just kind of seasoning the bass, if you will. Yeah. That's kind of how I thought of it.
Seasoning, I like that. Queedles, yeah, there we go. Russell says, that song reminds me of being outside. Remember those days?
I don't.
So long ago. Actually, I mean, I'm a massive introvert, so these times are virtually no different for me. I'm still inside all day long, avoiding the sun. Sahil says, bass level a bit more and lower the track. Okay, good, cool, good to know. Nathan says, sounds incredible. Thank you. Oh, Sahil, yeah, if you're listening on your phone, I would recommend not doing that. You're not going to hear any of the differences. I should have said that in the beginning. Make sure you guys are either on headphones or, some home speaker system. Doesn't need to be a recording studio. But if you want to hear the differences we're talking about, you're not going to get them out of a phone. It's just not going to happen. Russell says, very McCartney-esque. Thank you so much. That is the greatest compliment you can ever give another bass player. It's not, oh, slap at the bass. That's the worst one. don't ever tell a bass player that. But if you tell, like, dude, that sounds like McCartney, you're done. That's all I ever need to hear. DC says, never seen a 335-ish bass before. Yeah, this is a Guild Starfire. Guild came out around let me see. Will this work? Yeah. Guild was on the scene in the early 60s. Same thing, like Gibson, Guild, and Fender. They were all kind of chomping at the bit for the same... what am I trying to say? Like the same brand, the same company, I guess. So the headstock, it looks like a Gibson bass, but the headstock's obviously different. So Guild and Gibson were really comparable to each other. So if you're looking for like a used 60s EB2, I think that's like the Gibson equivalent of this. Mm-hmm. You're going to pay like $3,000. If you want a Guild Starfire from the same era, virtually a very similar instrument, you'll get it for like $800-900. Obviously Gibson won. Gibson got the bigger name. Guild went out of business for about 20-30 years. They're back now, but someone else owns them. But yeah, so this is a classic like 60s old school tone that you don't have to break the bank for. Nathan says that song and the sound as well reminds me of Roger Glover's Love Is All. Thank you. Johan says that's possible to try something with growl, fret buzz.
Well, we have a Stingray and we have a Specter active PJ.
Let's go for that Specter.
Yeah, it's the first one there.
Oh, okay.
I'll take this from you.
Hold on. Trade you.
Try not to hit anything. All right.
Oh, you got here. I can take it.
Yeah.
Where this one came from.
Cool.
Hold on. Okay, I have no idea what instrument this is. I've never played it before.
This is a Specter Legend 4 crafted in either Korea or Indonesia. I forget which one.
Okay.
Aguilar PJ pickups with the OBP2. So it's two-band EQ.
So I'm going to be probably very familiar with this sound because I use the OBP3 preamp. Let's do some gain. Can you pull the amp, the volume
I'm going to
down?
go back flat, with the EQ, roll the gain back a little bit. Pretty much everything kind of just straight
And I'm
up.
assuming this is volume or?
Yes.
So neck pickup. And then bridge pickup. Let me tune it up really quick. Oh, we're looking at the wrong screen. Talk amongst yourselves, everybody. Why did I say that? Is this one right?
Ugh. Let's see what else we got.
Sounds like this bass is down a half step to me. Or something like that.
It might be. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Specter sent it to me.
It literally just came in?
Yeah, I've had it for a couple days, but I've been so busy doing other things I haven't really had a chance to mess with it.
It's not reading.
Dude says cool Warwick.
Cool Warwick, bro, yeah.
I do have a cool Warwick. Maybe I'll bring it next time.
Man, hold on. This tuner's not reading anything. These clip-on tuners are great, but sometimes they don't do what they're... Oh, there we go. Okay. Lots of top end on this one. Are we flat out on the
Yeah, pretty
on the
much
amp?
everything is all straight up, including volume and gain.
Okay, I got a track that's going to be perfect for this one.
Cool.
Okay, let me just take a look at the meters. Yeah, lots of top end on this bad boy. Let me see what the sorry, wrong screen. Let me see what the compressor's doing. I never play instruments that have this much top end on it. So that's
So
pretty
real
awesome.
quick, let's just see if we rolled that treble all the way down.
Okay. More usable, but I'm still getting the crunch with it.
Yeah. And that's back to straight up.
I like that. For some reason, this is making me want to dig in and just get so much smack out of those strings. Can you do me a favor? Drive the preamp a little harder and then back off the output gain. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I'm not the biggest fan of this gain stage, but you know, if like I say in my video, if it's your flavor, cool, you know, but it's just not mine. However, still, you know, it sounds pleasant.
Okay, to be fair, back the gain off just till it's dirty. Like right there, yeah. Okay, I'm going to play another track. This one, let's do the same thing. Try to just kind of mess around with it.
Okay.
See what different kind of tones we can make. So this is a song that, if you guys were at my last live stream, I did a live recording session for an artist named Bill Worrell. He's a good friend of mine. And this is a track of his that we recorded some years ago. Same thing. I haven't heard it in maybe 3 or 4 years. So I don't exactly remember how the whole thing goes, but we'll give it a shot. Before I do that, let me just see if we have any important questions.
My wife said, hey.
Hi, Lindsay. Hi. Good to have you. Clip-on tuner doesn't work on the B string. Yeah, for that, tune with the harmonic. It'll read that note, but not the low one. This amp really brings out the character of each bass. Yeah, I agree. JC, Evan says, I remember that. Yeah, looks good. Johan, that sounds very good. I think we'll try it with my Stingray. Yeah, awesome. Please play Music Man sub. I don't have one, but if you send me one, I'll play it. Nathan, I get that fine tuning is cool, but I definitely need a decent EQ and pedal to go with an amp if I owned one. Yep. Steve from Boston.
Steve from Boston,
Bro!
what's up, dude?
Hey, man, stick
I miss
around.
that guy.
Stick around, Steve. We got something for you. Oh, I just want to hear how you're doing. Russell says, how good or bad do active basses sound with flats? Not my thing.
Not my thing either.
Yeah, flat mount strings to me belong on a precision bass or on a semi-hollow. Actually, I take that back. I've got, Dracula's here, by the way. Hi, Dracula. I've got a jazz bass that a lot of my funk videos I've been using, and I'm really digging the sound of a J bass with flats, which is not so. I mean, the J bass has been my number one instrument for 12 years, just about, and never ever played it with flats until about 2 weeks ago. And so I've been using it pretty exclusively in my practice routines and a lot of my videos, and I'm really digging it. So, but same thing, passive J bass. Can we get a demo on a passive bass? Yeah, we've been using the Starfire, the P bass.
And the SG bass.
And the SG, those were all passive. Please play an alembic bass. Please send one over. I don't know how much money you think I got, but it ain't that much. Steve from Boston says, I got nowhere to go. You know what? Hey, y'all, I need to tell you something. So Steve, another great YouTuber, check him out. And I remember at GitCon in Germany, Steve and I had breakfast every single morning at the buffet.
Yeah.
And like, after that week was over, we were in Germany filming a bunch of videos together at Warwick's factory. And I get home and like 2 days in, I sent Steve a message and I'm like, man, on Facebook, I'm like, man, dude, I miss having breakfast with you. What are you doing right now? Can you pour a bowl of cereal? Can we just talk?
I remember he and I went on a mission to find ice.
Did you find it?
Oh, we found it.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
we found a whole machine of it behind the bar. It was great.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Cold water, hard to find.
Very hard to come by.
And so is, I remember every time I go over there and I get on the plane and I ask for water, I always say water. Because if you say water, then everyone knows you're an American now. And they pour me a glass of bubbly water. And oh, fuck, that's right. All they drink is the sparkly stuff. I'm going to have no tap water for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
All right, here we go. Let's play a song. Where's the buttons? Hold on. Oh, because I've got the neck pickups. Adding a lot of sizzle. All right, let's give this a try.
Cool. I'll tweak the EQ as we go.
Okay. And anytime you're on screen, just make it look like you're doing something.
I'm so good at that with my wife.
Woo! Here we go.
Slight smiley.
Here we go. Screwing up already.
Try to sleep.
Not that way.
She's imperfectly perfect, at least to me, yeah. I visualize what you might be, occasionally, but it's just a foggy dream now, shrouded in mystery. She's a crystal clear 1080 pixel morning on the veil. Yes, and I recognize when she comes around my mind, she's a perfect design, always waiting there for me. Reality rears its ugly head at me. I wake up from my dream, no one next to me. Said I just lay back and try to sleep.
Okay, I forgot how the rest of the song goes, so help me out, or feel bad for me.
Surrounded by the light, dancing on the sheets. There's a tower made of ivory looming over me. While the grass is always greener, I can't see why I can't get no relief. Said I just lay back and try to dream. try to sleep.
That's what you get for trying to go too far out of the box at the end. Anyways, dude, that is so awesome. This is a tone that I never play with. You will never hear me have that much top end.
Yeah.
The active pickups and the orange amp. That is not my go-to sound. This thing keeps swiveling around.
Cycled through as many usable tones as I could.
Yeah, no, dude, that was awesome, man.
Scooped,
Seriously.
all that stuff.
This bass does need a setup. The intonation's not solid all the way through.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really impressed, man.
I like the tone of it a lot.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and that was totally flat on the preamp too. So yeah, lots of top end on this bass. I'm impressed. Good job. Designed in New York, handcrafted in Korea, Specter. Good job. I'm sorry, guys. Here, will you hold that for a second? Yeah. There's a ton of questions that I missed. And of course, my Bluetooth keyboard turned off, so we'll have to wait for me. Okay, now we got this back. All right, let me just back up and get to some of these questions over here. Blah 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 blah. Okay, hold on. Steve from Boston. Okay, so Russell says, that was to Evan. Billy Sheen impression for the tapping bit. Yeah, someone's got to do it. It wasn't me. That's actually something Bill asked me to do every time I record for him. Hey, can you make that solo a bit more Billy Sheen? He's his favorite bassist. Mean bass tone. Yes, most certainly is. This one, let's show the... Oh, yes. This is from Jamie Lewis Support. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. And hey, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification icon, that bell over there. That's the one that'll let you know that I've gone live, a new video is coming out, which there will be one on Friday. And also at the bass channel, a new video that actually is like completely on this pedal amp. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Okay, I think we're all caught up. JC says, I'm not a fan of that modern active bass sound, but your playing is great. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am also not a fan of the modern bass, lots of top end, super high fidelity sound.
Looks like I'm the minority here.
Oh, geez. Other song's playing. I'm not to say that that's a bad sound. It's just I don't play that kind of music, and I just don't gravitate towards those tones. For instance, Shim, the artist that I was touring with all last year, that's kind of exactly his sound. So I still played a J bass and a Gibson Grafbird, two passive instruments, but I had to try to channel that active hi-fi, active rock sound that, that was kind of tough. It would have been easier if I had a Warwick or a Specter or something like that, but I didn't have one of those instruments for the tour. Johan says, what type of bass cabinet do you preconize with it, or do you probably recommend with this amp? 10s, 12s, or 15s? Chris, you answer that question. What do you think?
This is a 12. I think it sounds pretty good. You can do, a 212. I haven't heard it through 10s. I imagine it would sound good, and I imagine the 15 would probably give you more of that vintagey kind of vibe.
And remember, right now we are not monitoring. Hey, I'm not even wearing shoes. Look at that. We are not monitoring through the amplifier. We're headphones only and just using the amp. So I haven't heard it through any speakers. But Chris, I'm sorry. You continue what we're saying.
Yeah. I mean, 10s are probably the most familiar sound. 12s tend to be a little bit more mid-driven. And I don't have as much experience with 15s, but they, from what I hear, are a little bit more kind of loose in the low end and a little bit more woofy, if you will.
Yeah. So, I mean, in general, 10s have the most punch. I love the sound of a 10-inch speaker.
I do too.
But they don't have the oomph that a 15 would have. But 15s have no definition. They're just woolly woo, woo, woo sounding, which is kind of interesting because the most iconic bass amp of all time is the Ampeg B15. Excuse me, you'll find it in every recording studio ever. So that's definitely an iconic sound, both the 10 and the 15. I like 12s because it's the perfect marriage between the two. Mm-hmm. It's got some of the low end that a 15's got, but it's not as indistinct. And it's got some of the punch that a 10 has, but obviously not the same. It's a different diameter. So the 12s, for me, that's like the best sounding bass, general bass tone. If it's rock music, 8/10s, that's it.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's R&B or anything, subby, go for the 15. But if I'm just like whatever the gig is, 12s will get it done for me, and I won't have any any complaints. Steve from Boston says, rock on, rock on, rock on, rock on. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate that, dude. Christian says, what's the name of that song? It's called Try to Sleep by Bill Worrell. Hold on. I think there's a way that I can send you a link. Sorry, I'm thinking I'm playing it at the same time. We live tracked that song at my old studio, and I have it somewhere here on thebassist.net. I'm just looking for it right now. Where the hell is it? I'm going to send you a link so you can watch the video or find it on iTunes and all that. Where the hell is it? Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to drop this link in the chat. So if you want to listen to that song, why is that button not doing anything? There we go. So I just dropped a link in there. You can click on that and you can watch the video of us tracking it, and then also find it on Spotify and all that. JC says, we're hearing the amps DI out. Yes. No cabinet. Burkahan. I don't even know what to do with your last name. I'm sorry. Says, as an engineer, which genre do you best think the sound of this amp would serve best? I would want to spend more time with it before I make that decision. I'm liking the saturation that it's doing. Not a big fan of the drive, but I mean, that's just a taste thing. I don't think it's unusable. It's just the things that I play with it wouldn't usually work. But yeah, off the top of my head, I'm saying indie rock.
Absolutely. Anything more vintage, I would say.
Yeah, indie rock, old school, vintage. I think where it shined the best was the first song that I played.
The Queedles?
Yeah, on the semi-hollow. That was badass.
My favorite.
Yeah. Russell, hippie. I missed the context of that, but yeah. A wall of PJB 6 inches. Oh, Phil Jones bass, 6s. Yeah. 15 for reggae. Yeah,
Sure.
definitely. Steve says, with shows like TGU probably canceled this year. Yeah, I know.
So bummed.
Are online collabs a replacement for summits? I think so, man.
Yeah.
I've already been hit up for several. I've got some that I'm doing with Universal Audio, In the Blues, our friends from Australia. And a couple other companies and YouTubers have hit me up to do collab projects. Steve, what are you doing tomorrow? or the day after? If you want to do something, let's make it happen, man. I've got obviously this setup here. I can record a track and send it back to you. You can send something to me. I'll play on it, film it, send it on back. Dracula, you brought me a present. Look at this. Dracula, come here. Dracula, this is hey, come here. Actually, bring me the present. This is his favorite. This squeaky reindeer right here. You want to get the reindeer? Okay, you can try to take it from me, but you cannot have it. Go get it. Sorry, Dracula had to make a guest appearance. But yeah, Steve, let's do something, man. Absolutely. JC says, and a Boss OC3. Yeah, definitely. Johan, no apologies necessary for your English, because my sorry, I forgot where you said you were from, but whatever language you speak, I'm much worse at it than you are at English, so don't worry. Free to Vol Music says, how do I play lines like that? Well, I'll show you how. First thing you do is not this. Hold on. First thing you do is you open up a new Chrome browser. I know this is so lame, but I have to do it. So you come over here. Yes. And you go to thebassist.net and you hit on this join thebassist.net button over here. Let me just show you guys this really quick. This is my online subscription site for all things bass. And pretty much, I've got this thing called the Bassist Curriculum. This takes you through like the 8 steps of what I think every bass player should learn. The basics, how to practice, going through all of your essential scales and arpeggios, working on rhythm and timing, how to get higher. That's a series on groove. And then finally, music theory and reading. So if you make it through those 8 series, and in each of these, there's like, if I click on this category, there's like 8 to 13 videos in each category over here. But this right here is called the Bassist Curriculum. That takes you through all of the essentials. Basically, it'll turn you into a professional. Because if you know all your scales, every note on your bass, you can groove, music theory, you know how to read. I mean, who wouldn't hire you? You know everything you need. And then over here in the extracurricular tab, this is, playing slap bass or chords and funk and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, if you want to learn how to play those kinds of lines, I've made it all possible at thebassist.net. And that was a plug, obviously, but that is the truth. I've been playing bass for about 25 years, and looking back, I've decided, or I just kind of look back on what I've learned and how I learned it. And I went, man, if I was starting over today, how would I do it? What would I do first? What would I do second, third, fourth, and all that kind of stuff. So I've laid it out for you 100%. You can go check that out. And actually, right now, My head is missing, but we're running a sale. There's a link in the description. You can click on it, and you can save up to 50% on memberships right now by clicking on that link. Do it after the live stream, though, so you don't miss us. But that's what I would recommend. Russell says, no shoes or socks. You're a hippie. I got it. Yep, I'm with you now. Hey, Matt, good to have you. Can't talk. Wearing Crocs. Steve says, yeah, I'm doing one with Glenn. That would be Glenn Fricker, the bass hater.
I really want to do something with him.
Oh, me too, yeah. Well, we did a video at TGU together with the dark glass.
Yes, I remember that.
We did that.
The Alpha Omega Ultra.
Yeah, and then we did one for, is it Sandberg or Strandberg?
There's either one.
They're two companies.
Strandberg
right.
is the headless multi-scale.
Yes, I played that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird bass.
It was. I did a first impression with Nick from my channel too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because it weighs like virtually nothing. So you throw it up in the air and it floats down. That's crazy. Yeah. Steve says, yeah, doing with Glenn and Jay Palmer. Awesome. I think also the one with Shane. Oh, cool. Awesome. Great. Yeah. So check my email. Yes, we should definitely do something. I agree. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that the other day. Like, everyone is moving to some sort of streaming performance, concert, live stream, Q&A, whatever. And I'm wondering how when things go back to normal in a month, 6 months, 2 years, who knows? Like bands who haven't been on the road touring and are just doing studio concerts, I wonder if they're going to go back on the road. Like, why would you? If you've been doing it this way.
Yeah.
I haven't left the house. I don't even have shoes on. I'm usually wearing pajamas. like, why would I sign up for, oh yeah, let's go get on an airplane and, wait. And I don't know, all the, everything that comes along with touring and all that stuff. I wonder if we're just not going to care about that anymore because this replaces that.
I don't know. Metallica's been doing their Metallica Mondays, in which every Monday they live. It's not live, but it's technically a live stream of some show from the past couple of years.
Huh.
And while it's fun to watch, I still really want to be there because I've been to like 7, and 3 of those have been on the rail, and nothing beats the on the rail experience. You know, I'm a huge Metallica nut, so that's like.
Well, and I'm not saying that, obviously live music, that's the way to go. But I mean, let's be honest, this is where we are. Who knows if they're going to allow 10,000 people to gather again. It may totally be a reality for the next several months or even years that this is all we have.
I'm anxious to see all of the conspiracies that will go along with us not being allowed to gather, because mob mentality is one of the most powerful things.
Oh, for sure.
If you eliminate that, I'm just going to stop right there. Hey, Russell said something again.
Hey, Russell.
Oh, look, he's said the same thing.
It's all a conspiracy and Lewis hooking up in the Matrix. I think we already are, man. I'm 100% on board with the simulation theory. I'm there. Steve says, I'm thinking it will be at least 6 to 12 months. Yeah, probably. We have to see if it bumps up again next winter. Yeah, man. These are crazy times. Crazy times. And, obviously my heart goes out to anyone who's been seriously affected by it. I mean, I'm obviously self-employed, so there's a chance that I lose everything. But then there's people who honestly have lost virtually everything because their company closed. In fact, like Sarah and I were just talking about this the other day. So we moved here to Las Vegas 3 months ago. So I've been jobless and living off of savings and staying inside for 3 months anyways because I'm in a new city and I don't have a job. And now I can't get a job because no one in Vegas is hiring. All the casinos are closed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's no gigs. But so the job that Sarah was working for back in California, her company closed. I think they were already teetering on the idea of like doing layoffs and stuff. And then all this Corona shit happened and they just, nope, every job is gone. The company just caved in on itself. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a reality for a lot of people right now. And we're just thanking our lucky stars that we didn't stay in California because I couldn't imagine being in California, paying what I was paying to live there and not have no gigs, not have no work. And my wife not having a job, like, fuck, we'd be screwed.
Oh, yeah,
we'd have been foreclosed on by now. I'd be kicked out of my house. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a scary thing for a lot of people right now. So, yeah, my heart goes out to you if that's you. And I think we're going to see some real creativity. Like I kind of called it like 2 weeks ago. All my friends, I started calling and be like, hey, get in the live stream and start making videos because subscribership's about to go through the roof. Viewing is going to go through the roof because everyone's just sitting on their phones and not doing anything all day. And instead of watching the news, they're going to watch you instead. And of course, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering like, okay, so what's Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, like the TV, like they're on the same level as us now. They can't go to work either. So what's going to happen to mainstream media, television, movies even? Like when we can go back outside, are they going to make movies again? Because after a year of just direct to video Netflixing, like, well, why would I leave and go to a theater? That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like after living this life for a while, maybe we're not going to want to go back outside. I have no idea. Sorry. Let's stop talking about the corona, unless you guys want to keep going with it. But let's talk about happier things. JC says, any podcasts incoming, since most people have the time right now? Yeah, so here's the thing. I have one last podcast. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about. The Basis podcast comes out every Monday or Tuesday, give or take. It doesn't replace my head. But I've got one more in the can that I think is going to go live today or tomorrow. And then I've got to either cancel it or start doing them digitally somehow. And I'm on the fence, to be honest, because I don't like doing remote conversations. Part of my podcast is being in the room with the person and just kind of playing off of each other. And I don't know how that's going to fly over the internet. So I'll either have to postpone it until I can start traveling again and meeting with people, or I'll have to do it, remotely. I haven't decided yet. Help me decide. Tell me what you want me to do in the comments. Free to Vol Music says, is that a Specter bass? This one is, yes. Chris said
Specter Legend 4.
Yeah, he said they just sent that over a couple days ago, so we tried it out. Why not? Russell says, my poor daughter has had school exams canceled. She's going through life as a dum-dum. Could be worse, Russell. Could be worse. Luckily, my wife is all digital, so she actually has a little bump in work from all the firms on digital projects. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I imagine anyone who's already on the digital work from home thing. And that's another thing, too. Anyone who goes to work in an office now has to somehow work from home if possible. And then when the office is open again, be like, well, why would I go back to the office? Like, I can work from home. Isn't this better?
Yeah. I don't like to work from home as much because there's too much opportunity for distraction, and I'll get to it tomorrow-isms.
I don't have that problem, but I can understand.
I need to be forced. As much as I hate to be forced and told what to do, I kind of need to be told what to do.
I'll tell you what to do. Professor Ramos says, at the moment, my concerts are all canceled in April and May. So, Jamie, I have an alembic for sale. Okay, cool. I'll hit you up. Almost doomed for watching TV. Yep. Evan says, I'll toss my vote for remote sessions. Yeah, you know what? I was supposed to do one on Monday, but the guy never sent me the track. So yeah, anytime I get something, I'll be live streaming my recording sessions, more of these. And tons of videos coming out. I'll always have a lesson that goes live at thebasis.net. Those are premium for subscribers, but there'll always be a free one at the YouTube channel, my practice, Watch Me Practice series, and anything else. So I'm doing my best to keep you guys entertained and occupied as well. Blah, 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 blah. Favorite podcast currently? Evan, you're far too kind, but thank you. Henrik says, how about the funky thing and note like jazz walking? Yeah, let's play J-Bass.
How about it?
Want to trade?
Trade you for this one?
Oh, can you unplug it for me?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, gonna go all straight up again.
All right, for jazz walking, I don't have a track or anything for that. Let's let me come back to this screen over here. Can you give me about 10 dB more gain?
Good or more?
Still need more. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Cool.
Okay, let me come back over to this screen. Tuner, that's what I need. It's on the wrong bass. Hold on.
We'll play bass for a sandwich.
Not even that much. Not even that. Hold on. Yeah. Walking funky jazz. Okay, hold on. So for me, if I'm playing funk music on a J bass, always bridge pickup. Gosh, this thing keeps moving around.
And that's all flat on the EQ, by the way.
Yeah, so let's pull the top end down probably completely.
Give you a little more mid, too.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
You want more low end?
No, that's perfect. Yeah, nice. It's funny that where this microphone sits is exactly in the middle of my hand, so I have to move the mic every time. So how does that? I just did a lesson on a pretty advanced funk groove, and I don't remember. Give me 1 second to see how it goes. No, that wasn't it. I'm going to try this one. You know what? Actually, hold on. I can pull up a track for that. Hold on. Where would that be? That would be over here. Give me just a second, y'all. I'm going to try to play along to something so you can hear this in context. Of course, that's on the wrong screen. Bibbidi-bibbidi-boo. Hold on. Gear demos. Backing tracks. This one is like F. Hold on. F. Sparse. Yeah, I think it's this one. Let's try that. Oh, shoot. I clearly don't know what I'm doing here. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Bear with me for 1 second, I promise. Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay, so if I grab this guy, F minor 7, is that what I want? I think so. There we go. All right, let's jam.
We have our tone dialed in, so I can't look busy.
So that's what funk music sounds like.
I think we just found another suitable genre.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's very, very subtle. The drive is nice. Not overdrive. It's not like distorting, but yeah, a little bit of a hot signal. Yeah, definitely. I'm loving it. Very cool sound. The only other thing I would say, does it have an effects loop on it?
It does.
I see some other. Yeah,
It does have an effects loop.
is it serial or parallel?
It is serial.
Okay, nice. Yeah,
Always
pretty
reminds me
awesome.
of South Park. It's super serial.
It's super serial. Is it 3 or 4 band EQ?
3 band.
Orange is always 3 band, right?
No, well, they had an amp called the 4-stroke, I believe, that was a 4-band. I don't know if they still make it, but for the most part, they're all 3-band.
Yeah, so that means it's not surgical EQ. It's more for tone. No, I'm sorry, it's not for tone. How am I saying? It's not surgical in the sense that like, oh, I need to use this EQ to fix the bass sound. When you have a 3-band EQ, it's just like dial in a tone basically, and you'll still need to use other EQ afterwards to kind of get it to sit right. It's the best way I can explain it, but yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, Pietro says I am playing along from home. Hey, good, awesome, thanks. You guys can always do that. Luke says, what's one piece of gear you can't live without besides your bass? Chris, you want to answer that question first?
TC Electronic Wiretap.
Because that's how you do all of your videos.
That's how I do my videos, because I'm not the greatest player. Definitely not the most versatile player. But I have a team of guys. They all pre-record riffs, and then I'll feed those riffs through whatever product we're showing. So that way you get a good taste of a bunch of different styles and a bunch of different basses. So it's not just one guy sitting there with a P bass the whole time.
Right. And I do the same exact thing. I wiretap a lot of my performances so that if you wanted to hear what this sounded like through like two different amplifiers. You know what I mean? Like if I played a passage and you wanted to compare it to like a different amp or a different pedal, well, every time I perform it, it's going to sound different. You know what I mean? If I play a different bass,
Exactly.
just the performance itself is not going to be identical. So that's what I like about the wiretap is I can run it through 3 or 4 different pieces of gear and have identical performances. And then you can really A/B and hear the difference.
Yeah, I do that a lot too.
For me, what's the one piece of gear I couldn't live without? This right here, an SM7. This is my favorite microphone. SM7 combined with a cloud lifter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My SM7 broke. Came like
that's too bad.
or desoldered in the inside. I got to figure out who can fix that.
I got a soldering iron right over there if you know where the connection is.
I do. I'm just not handy with it. So
Yeah,
I'll
me
just
neither,
loan
but
it
it's
to you.
easy. Yeah, soldering's easy. You just put the two things together and put some, I don't know, maybe.
It's just the problem is I don't have that third hand.
Yeah, well, see, so there's over there's like a clampy thing that'll hold it, and then you got. the
Oh,
two
it
hands.
is. Okay, you do have one of those. What is it?
Someone
three
got it for
hands
me
or
for
third
Christmas
hands or
once.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a
All right,
Christmas
cool.
present.
Maybe I'll have to come over here and fix it.
There we go. What else we got? DC. That's how a J bass. Oh, that's how a bass should sound. Yeah, man. I don't know. For me, it's J pickup. I just love the darkness, the bite, the snap on it. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. Magic growl. Yep, that's what the J bass is for. Thank you. Appreciate that, Ramos. Johan says, we know you prefer J bass. Yeah, I'm pretty vocal about that, which is funny because the last time we were in Germany, Adam Neely and I were talking about doing a video together because he's a notorious P bass player, you know? And so we were just talking one night at the bar and I'm just like, we had like a 10 or 15 minute conversation about why I think the J bass is the ultimate instrument. He was talking about why the P bass is the ultimate instrument. And we were just like, afterwards, like, dude, we should have recorded this conversation because if we try to film it now, it's going to be fake because we've already made our points. We've already stated our arguments.
So that brings me to my question. My next question was, what is your opinion on PJ basses?
Don't like them.
Really?
No, I want one or the other. I don't like the combination.
All right.
But here's where I was going with that is Adam is now playing a fan fret Kiesel bass with J pickups in it.
Oh,
Right.
him.
So he's a J player now. Technically, it's not a jazz, but well, this isn't a Fender jazz bass anyways. But yeah, he's playing a J bass for the past like 4 or 5 months. And I haven't asked him yet, but it's like, so did anything I say make you want to change your mind? Or I don't know. But yeah. So for me, J all the way, every day. I didn't mean to rhyme. Henrik says, do you think about dissonances when you're playing it? No, those are mistakes. That is me just hitting the wrong thing and sometimes I give up, but sometimes I just try to go with it. Like in this case, here, check this out. Let's try to screw up. So in that case, I purposely played something that was totally off key. In fact, I played the same pattern and just 1 fret higher. And that's something that I'll try to do a lot. I'm trying to find a place for it. This is why I don't like these microphones. I'm covering up my hand. Normally I wear a clip-on mic, but it doesn't work for the live streams, so I got to switch to this. Okay, so if I was playing something there, that's F minor. Okay, so something like that. Sorry, I'm going fast for a moment. So you can see how when I was playing outside and really holding those notes and making you know that they didn't belong, obviously that was way out there. But then when I played them like in the context of a fast passage of just let me try that again. Let's put it in the music again. Okay, that's a good one. So that right there. So that right there is a little pattern that kind of worked. So I'm just playing a pattern, a 4-note pattern. Let's try that one more time. See if I can get that to groove. Yeah. So I'm trying to play like just real straight pentatonic-y, bluesy, whatever kind of licks, but just by moving it up a half step, moving it up another half step, and then coming back down the way you wanted. That's an easy way to just step outside and then come right back. So I'm just playing parallel patterns. So what you were asking, am I stepping out on purpose? No, those were mistakes, probably. But if I'm intending to do it, it's usually just something very simple. Take a line I just played. I don't know. And actually, I should have gone to an A flat, not an A natural. Something like that, just to kind of build some tension and then get right back to the money notes, because I don't like to staying out for too long. It tends to not sound good. Daria says, cool bass line. Thank you. Evan says, you got me hooked on that J-bass full neck pickup tone. Full neck, meaning like both pickups on together?
No, I think he means just the front pickup.
Oh, gotcha, the front. Yeah, that's my way. Honestly, I think that sounds better than a P-bass most of the time. The neck pickup, it's hairier, I guess is the way I would explain it.
Yeah.
And a little bit more tame than a precision. And yeah, for anything that I would grab a P-bass for, I always hit the J front pickup first. I've just found it works more of the time. Russell says, I want a Jaguar with PJ. I had one of the first Jaguars when they were still made in Japan, and it was just a J-bass. They weren't doing the PJ yet. And you asked about the PJ.
Yes.
Why were you surprised when I said no?
Yeah, not particularly surprised. Just always like to hear people's opinions. Because I was just thinking that as far as both pickups on, the PJ kind of helps, or not helps, gets in a similar territory. There we
Sure.
go. I found my words.
Those are the ones.
But with the PJ, I was thinking, going to before you brought up the point about the jazz front pickup, it seems like you can kind of get all three. You get the P if you need it. You get that kind of phase reverse mid scoop hum cancel thing in the middle.
And that's what I don't like.
Oh, really?
When you have them both on, it just sounds like the worst of both instruments.
See, I like that tone.
Yeah,
but
for me, it's too hollow, it's too scoop. It's because of the phase cancellation that's happening. But so if you do that on a J bass, it's still full. Do it on a PJ, it's too thin.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I hear whenever I play them.
Yeah, because one of my favorite instruments that I own is a PJ bass. It's a precision bass, but it's PJ setup, and it's the Geezer Butler pickups.
Active or passive?
Passive. Full passive Alnico 5, and it sounds so good.
Well, bring it over next time.
Absolutely. Well, actually, I think it's in Ventura right now. I have it. My friend Josh has it doing some stuff with it.
Okay, we'll have to wait a little while.
Yeah.
What was the Warwick that you brought last time? Is that a PJ?
No, that was just a straight P.
Oh, okay.
And then my other Warwick is a dual J.
Gotcha.
Which I think you'll like that one.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. PJs, that's just not my go-to. I don't think it sounds... What I end up doing is either using it as a P or as a bridge pickup as a J. And at that point, I was like, well, why don't I just play a P or a J?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I roll. Miles Davis said there are no wrong notes, only wrong places. I like that. It's pretty good. Ashfaq Tulu says, you are a super bass player. Love your playing. Thank you so much. I'm honored. It's not true, but I appreciate it. Heinrich, you are very welcome. Jocko, Gary Willis, pentatonics. Yeah, I do a lot with pentatonics. I remember I had a jazz teacher. His name is Bunny Burnell, local LA legend. He recorded with everyone, Herbie, Chick, all the guys. And I remember him telling me that like Wayne Shorter, 99% of the time just plays a major scale.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Wayne Shorter, you're like, how is that all diatonic? How is that all in the box? And so I just always assumed jazz meant you had to like, well, they're doing tritone sub of a different sub harmonically, this and that with, like there's all these rules. And then I heard like, wait, like one of the best is just playing diatonic the whole time. And so that kind of like got me into thinking like, well, okay, I'm a funk R&B player and pentatonics are my jam. So how much damage can I do with pentatonics? How much can I work that into my sound and make it sound jazzy? I'm not a jazz player, So that pentatonics are a big part of my vocabulary, and I just try to use them in a way that a rocker or a funk player wouldn't. Maybe a jazz player would, but I don't think they'd do a lot with pentatonics. I don't know. That's kind of where I come with that.
The best piece of advice I ever got was from Phil X. And he was saying that someone told him, I'm getting bored playing pentatonic. Is there any other kind of things I can do to get out of the box? And he said, if you're bored playing pentatonic, you're not playing the pentatonic correctly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because there's so much fun to be had with it. It's like,
sure.
That got me thinking, because I was in that place too, just kind of stuck in that box. But just moving outside of that box while still staying pentatonic, it's never not fun.
Let me show you guys something. Hold on. If you were looking for something fun to do with pentatonic scales, this will be a real quick lesson. I'm going to go fast, so I apologize. But let's say you have something like an E minor chord. I'm hearing some crunching.
I can remove that.
But it could just be my headphones.
No, I'm getting it too.
Can you bring a little bit of the top end back up? I'll go to the bridge pick. That's much better.
There we go.
Okay, so over an E minor chord, most people would play E minor pentatonic. Because that one works. It's the most obvious. Sorry, I went to the wrong screen. Let's go to this one over here. So an E minor pentatonic is the same as a G pentatonic. Because that's the relative minor or the relative major of E minor. But E minor could also be a 2 chord, in which case D would be the root. So D is a really cool way. D pentatonic is a really neat way to play the same scale, G pentatonic, it adds the 9, that F sharp instead of the G natural. So anywhere that you can play, so on a minor chord, I could play G pentatonic or D pentatonic, or I could also play A pentatonic, right? And just kind of lead them all into each other. Hold on. Can I do this? Give me 1 second. Hold on. This might be interesting. Oh shoot. What? Oh, I'm trying to record something really quick as if I had a loop pedal. Let's see if this will work. So if I press record. So here's a jam. Okay, hold on. Let's scroll over a little bit. Okay. Sorry, I haven't done this before, so I'm trying to see if it'll work. Okay, wait, here's the bass track. If we go like this, let's delete those. Okay, let's set that to repeat. All right, I think I just did it. No. Now I'm hitting wrong buttons. Dang it. Hold on. Something just popped up on my other screen. All right, wrong thing. Let's get back over here and hit the... Oh, wait, that's the loop button. All right, so... Give me a second to just gain this up for you guys so we can actually hear it. Let's do... Okay, so you guys can all hear that chord. You can hear the bass. You can take the top end down just a little bit, Chris. So this right here is playing E minor pentatonic or G pentatonic. D pentatonic. What I did? D pentatonic? What am I even saying? D pentatonic. G. D. So they're almost the same. So the cool thing here is I'm playing the same pattern. Upstairs in my head, I'm playing the same thing. But because of where I'm playing it on the neck, it sounds different. So if you've got a lick that goes... I did that from E. I can also do it from D. Or sorry, D would be B minor. So that right there would work over the same changes. Same pattern. I also do it from A. And here's the reason why I'm pointing this out right now. I know, I'm sorry. This might be going over a lot of your heads. I did a whole series of lessons on this. But essentially what's cool is D to G to A. Those are the 3 pentatonic scales that I'm targeting over an E minor 7 chord. All of them are just like 1 or so frets away from each other. Here's D, here's G, here's A, right? Parallel, just like moving up a string and up a couple of frets. So again, I'm going to turn that click off, sorry. There's D, G, A, and my hand was pretty much doing the same exact thing against all those different patterns. And what's neat here is you can start stepping out. In other words, so I'm going to go back to this screen. From G to G sharp to A, I can play the same pattern. Watch this. Right? Same thing, just moving up a fret each time. I'm going to bring the click back in so I have my timing. Ah. So anyways, I'm sorry. That's a long, complicated answer for I'm just playing the same scale. It was a freaking pentatonic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm using it in 3 different ways. And then I'm using chromaticism in between those to kind of give me 5 different ways to play it. You know, so the reason why I thought that is you were talking about Phil X. Like if you're getting bored of the pentatonic, you're just using the one. You're using E minor pentatonic over an E chord.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways you can use that same pentatonic from different notes that either work, changing 1 note, changing 2 notes, changing all the notes and being completely non-diatonic, you know? And the cool thing is they're all just 1 fret or 1 string away from each other. And that's what I like about that technique. Like I said, I'm sorry, that was a series of videos that probably took 20 minutes to explain. I just condensed it down into about 3 minutes. So I'm positive most of you hate me right now because that made no sense. But if you go to on the YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure it was a free series. I'll try to find it for you. Anyways, sorry. that's that question. AJ says, I've been jazz bass for longest time now, into soap bars, but also 5 and 6 string basses. Yeah, I've got soap bars on several of my basses. If it's 5 string, it's got to have soaps. I don't like single coil or P pickups.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Evan says, my main axe is the Stingray, so that J-bass full front pickup is just the tone I really can't seem to get from a single humbucker Ray. Yeah, unless you can coil tap it, which I don't think they do.
You probably can, maybe not stock off the shelf, but you can get other pickups.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of the Stingrays do that. Russell, what about the extravagance of a bass with a JPJ? Oh, like 3 pick? Yeah, no, that wouldn't be for me either.
No, because I feel like the jazz pickup would be too close to the neck.
Yeah.
And it would just sound weird.
No, not interested. Or double P?
I have no experience with that.
Never played one, but it doesn't look good.
No, it definitely does not look good.
So I'm not interested either. I saw that on a guitar once. Ugh. I love Patrick Hunter's Ugly Basses videos.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go find Patrick Hunter. Follow him on YouTube. He does these things where he just reacts to really nasty looking basses or things that he deems as nasty. Johan, did you try the multi-effect pedals like the GT1000? I had the GT6B 20 years ago. That was the big red one. But I have not used multi-effects ever since. What do I think about them? Don't like them. What do you think about multi-effects?
The one that he's talking about, I'm not a huge fan, but to go to Boss, their MD 500 or RV 500, they actually just sent me those and a couple others. I like those a lot because it's kind of their single stomp, but it's set up a little bit differently than the GT1000. And I think all the settings that I've heard anyway have sounded good.
All right, well, so you have that. Yeah, I haven't used multi-effects in about 20 years. So I'm sure they've gotten better since I used them. You're basically asking, like, do I like the first line 6 pod? Right? The answer is no. That's the last time I went to multi-effects because they were just dog shit 20 years ago. And I just assume they haven't gotten caught up with everyone else yet. But I could be wrong.
Have to do another live stream on the
there you
MD
go.
500.
Yeah. We'll have to try it out. I'm not above it. But yeah, I'm not the one to ask that question. Russell says, I like playing a minor pentatonic on the 5th of the minor 1. Okay, so let's see. On an E minor chord, you're talking about playing B minor? Yeah, that's the same as playing D pentatonic. Yeah, that's precisely the same. Because what you're doing is you're taking away the third and you're adding a 9, and that's where it's getting that jazzy sound. Henrik says, sounds good. Cool, thanks. Friedeval. I does bop pentatonics. Call those bop pentatonics. Okay, yeah, I like that. That's cool. Evan, second one is a little longer and goes more in depth. First one, I link moves quicker. I don't know what you're referring to. Probably something I was just talking about a second ago, and I already forgot because my memory is just terrible. Okay, here's some advice. Try PJ pickups with the neck open, 70% bridge, 70% and 30% bridge. All right. Warm, defined, very funky. Yeah, I'm sure.
Cool. I'll try it.
Like I said, I don't own any PJs. I had one. The only PJ I ever owned was a Fodera Victor Wooten signature. It came from Victor's personal collection at one point. It was a very special bass, sat in a closet for about 3 years, and I sold it. So that's my experience with PJ basses. AJ, stingrays don't. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Don't split.
Yes. Effect pedal do one thing right. Multi-effects do exactly 100% my points. From an economical standpoint, it can't, right? Like a single pedal fits the exact amount of components inside of it to sound the way it sounds, right? And then you take like 30 pedals and put it into a thing that doesn't have enough real estate to contain all of those individual components. It cannot sound the same. Not to say it can't sound good, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if we took this overdrive and this compressor and this EQ and we put them into one pedal and it's smaller than the amount of space that those three take up.
You would have to be using different components.
Different components that cost less because the price of that multi-unit is less than 3 of them together. So it's just you're cutting corners. Mm-hmm. By default, you have to be. So that doesn't mean they don't sound good. It just means they don't sound the same. Maybe they don't sound as good. I don't know. That would probably be an opinion thing. But
then the question becomes, is it different enough to notice in a mix?
Right, exactly. So for me, it's just like I know that the individual units sound the way they're supposed to sound. As soon as you throw it into a channel strip or a multi-effects unit, it's like, all right, I'm just trying to get close enough or get the idea. And so I'd just rather use the original. That's my thought. But again, that's a 20-year-old opinion. Could be wrong. Maybe maybe they've caught up. Dario says, what make is your bass? This is an M bass MJ4. Pretty much just a passive J bass Aguilar. These are the 60 pickups. Yeah, these ones. 60J, I think, and not the hum canceling ones. But yeah, it's a great sound of bass. Evan says, just realized I linked some videos for your pentatonic lessons. But they didn't show up. Gotcha. That's probably okay. So he was sharing those lessons. You can find them on the bassist.net or on the YouTube channel, apparently. Professor Ramos says the bass pedal effects is in the fingers. You know what? I don't use a lot of the wacky effects. Overdrive, compression. That's it.
I think good things can be had with a chorus and a phaser.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not above using those pedals. I mean, sure, but in my opinion, when you start affecting the bass in a way that takes it out of its role, which is just being a foundation, as soon as you start putting ring mods, chorus, delay, things that are like, well, now it's not a foundational instrument anymore. Now it's acting more like a lead instrument. And I've done this before. The Hysteria by Muse, like listen to his bass tone. Like obviously that's not a traditional sounding bass, but it's also the feature instrument in the song. So for me to use flanger, chorus, ring mod, any of those wacky effects, the bass line has to be the feature. It needs to be as important as like Billie Jean. That's the bass line.
Yeah.
Take the bass line away, you don't have a song anymore. Hysteria, take the bass line away, you don't have a song anymore. It's just the song is gone. So if the song is written around the bass line, sure, I'll throw a bunch of effects on it. But if I'm just playing bass, I don't need any of that shit. I just need compression and EQ. And maybe a little overdrive just to dirty it up, or if I'm playing with a pick and it's more rock, but like those three for me is pretty much all I ever use. Blah, 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 blah. AJ, Helix, Axe Effects. Yeah. I've heard amazing things. Adam Neely, same thing. Last time I hung out with him in New York a couple of months ago. He had just picked up a Helix and he was touring with it, and he had amazing things to say about it. I haven't experienced it, but yeah, I know a lot of people saying the Axe Effects, the Helix, and Kemper. Every guitar player I've toured with for the past 2 years has had a Kemper. That's the only way to play guitar now, apparently. Blah, 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 blah. OC2, yep, same thing. Octavers, any of that kind of stuff. The song really has to be kind of written around it. Yannick made a video about, yes, he's made lots of videos about the OC2. That's his favorite. AJ says bass thing versus bass terror.
Yes.
Can you help us with that, Chris?
Not totally in depth yet because I don't have the little bass thing. It's on the way. But just
what is the little bass? I don't even know.
It is basically this minus the gain, minus the tube front, and the addition of an optical compressor.
Optical compressor, nice. That's interesting.
Yeah. So your controls are volume compressor, 3-band. I think that's it. I don't think if there is a gain switch, it's not set to break up and drive like this. At least from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I should be getting one of those in maybe a week, and then we can definitely shoot it out between this.
Oh yeah, we could bring them back. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
totally.
I mean, I'll do it on my channel regardless.
yeah. If you want to see the real video, go watch it at his place because he's gonna actually demo it and put it through its paces.
Do we have the clip?
Let's see if this is working. This is a clip from his recent video that's going live on Friday. Please don't freak out. Please don't. Nope. That totally not going to work. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see if I can.
While you're doing that, I'm going to answer a question.
Okay.
Any similarities between the Terror and the OB200? Yes. The Terror is supposed to get as close as they can to the, he said OB200. Do you mean the OB300? Because I thought you meant AD200. This is supposed to sound like the AD200. If you're talking about the OB300, they sound completely different. This has more of a, I guess, traditional breakup, whereas the OB300 and 500 is a bit more modern sounding distortion. I personally like the OB better than the Terror as far as the gain goes. Obviously, that's all down. He says, yes, the AD200. Okay, so yes, AD200, this is designed to sound as close to the AD200 as possible, given its size and weight. Again, it's hybrid, tube preamp, solid state power, whereas the AD200B is full tube. But aside from those differences, this is designed to get as close to that amp as possible.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, this is totally not working. Okay. I'm sorry. I was supposed to have a clip of the video for you guys, but it's not playing nice. It's playing like 5 videos at once, and that's why it sounds like trash. So I'll fix that. But anyways, there's going to be a link in the description after this is over, and you guys can watch his full video. It doesn't come out for 2 more days, so you guys get the sneak peek, which is awesome. Any other questions? Sorry, we got the AD200.
Thanks, dude. You're welcome.
Awesome. Heinrich says the pointer and pinky fingers sound like more bass. Someone told me. We're talking about in the left hand, like let's see. What am I looking for? This one. Okay, so here's what my index finger sounds like. Here's what my middle finger sounds like. Here's what my ring finger sounds like. Here's what my pinky finger sounds like. Okay, now I'm going to switch between them like this. Everybody close your eyes. Can you tell? Okay, you can open your eyes now. Probably nobody did that. I'm going to say whatever that person told you was horseshit because I couldn't hear a difference at all. They sounded the same. If that's what you were talking about, yeah. Now, if you're talking about the right hand, okay, let's give that a try. Hold on. So here's my, here's finger 1. Here's my middle finger. Here's my ring. Here's my pinky. Okay, obviously the pinky. Actually, okay, I'm not a 4-finger player, but I'm going between all 4 of them right now. I'm having a hard time not smacking the strings. That pinky just doesn't even reach.
The first time you did it, I don't know if I would say there's more bass, but there was less treble in the pinky.
Yeah. Because the surface area of the pinky, I'm barely even getting to it. Anytime I hit the pinky, most of the time I'm even missing the string because it's just not long enough. I would say, yeah, definitely in the right hand, there would be a difference. But I play with 3 fingers, so you probably didn't hear one because I practice that way a lot. The pinky, definitely. just because I can't get the string, my pinky doesn't reach, which is why even classical guitarists, they play with 4 fingers, P-I-M-A. I don't forget what they stand for, but you wouldn't use the pinky except to do what are called rasgueados, which is like this flicking bram bram. That's your, like that kind of sound. I'm not a classical or Spanish guitarist, but so these are the 4 fingers you would use, and by default your pinky would have a thinner sound because it does have less mass, and it's shorter and it can't really reach the strings. But I actually know a lot of people who play with 4 fingers. I have a friend in Mexico, name is Andreas, and he slaps with all 4 of his of his fingers. So he'll do like, so right there I'm doing 2 plucks. I'm using these 2 fingers. And I've heard of people doing 3 plucks, catching the ring finger. I'll bet you Nathan Navarro can do it.
Oh, he can do everything, yeah.
But the pinky, forget it. Yeah, not for me. But anyways, yeah, I don't even remember where that question started. Oh, do different fingers have different bass? Apparently not. I can't seem to recreate that. AJ says that would be an odd, useful experiment. Yes, we'll make a meme out of that. Russell, the only sound difference is from the index and middle fingers on your picking hand. Yeah, and the goal, it's actually the reason why a lot of people just play with 1 finger, like if I'm doing a driving line. I'm just using the same finger, my middle finger. Because if I alternate, you're hearing like a bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, because they're just different sizes. And you can spend a lot of time trying to get them to sound identical. It's actually the reason why a lot of producers, I'm looking for a guitar pick and I don't see, it's here on the floor.
Oh, I actually brought one.
You do?
Yep.
Do you have it on you?
I do.
Because I'm trying to reach it with my toes and I can't get it.
I saw it this morning and I thought we might need it.
This is the reason why a lot of people like using guitar picks in the studio. Because it's really easy to get the same exact sound because you're using the same pick, the same striking motion, and it's just easier to do. So anytime I have to play those kinds of lines with my fingers, I'll just use 1 finger. Here's 2 fingers. Not bad, but different. Here's 3. 1 finger. Way more consistent. So that's the way I would do it. Joe says, also, you guys dip into the barefaced bass cabs in the future. Do you know what he's talking about, barefaced?
If that's a brand, I'm not familiar. Unless he just means taking off the grill. I have no idea. He
says, off topic, but guys like Tim Comerford and Justin Meldal Johnson are turned on to them. Yeah.
It must be a brand.
Barefaced. Are you thinking, Barefoot Audio they make speaker monitors. But if there's one called Barefaced, no, I haven't heard of it yet. But if you know someone there, send them our way. And I'd love to try one out. AJ says, random, awesome, no one other clay of... I'm sorry, I don't know what to do with this sentence. Joe says, Nathan's a machine. Yes, Nathan is a machine. Did you see his solo that he posted the other day from the Devin Townsend tour?
No.
They did obviously it got cut short. But he posted his bass solo from a couple nights just before Mike Keneally, and
that's awesome.
Blew me away. JC says Jamerson style.
I think he was referring to the 1 finger.
Yes. Jamerson played with 1 finger, the hook. Yes, definitely. Well, because he came from the double bass, and on the double bass you only get 1 finger. You might get a second one to do like the bounce between 2 strings, but you would use 1 finger on double bass. Chris, channel comment. Turn your hand 30 degree, then it will be even. I don't know what that means.
I don't know how much 30 degrees is. I don't think he's talking about that, though.
Maybe not.
He might be talking about attacking the strings with your fingers, because you mentioned that one was shorter.
Sure, yes. If you turn your hand this way, I don't do that because now look at what's happening to my wrist. This is detrimental to your health. to your wrist health. You will get carpal tunnel. You will have problems later on in life if you're cutting off circulation. So I always try to play. See, even just doing that for a second, I have to do this. Sometimes, I'll rest my forearm here, and this is also a terrible thing to do because you're applying pressure right here. You're constricting blood flow. It's just an awful thing. You should pretty much always keep your wrist straight and have your elbow basically moving your shoulder. So, like, instead of, like even just doing that right now feels terrible. Ugh, so I got to stretch it out. But yeah, that would work. I wouldn't do it. I never have, never will. Where did we leave off? That was a 30
Base
degrees.
Players Anonymous. Chris comes through with the pick. Yes, I did.
Hey yo.
White Fang.
Somebody's got to do it. Evan agreed with Nathan being a machine. Hey, if you guys don't subscribe to his channel, go do it now. Type in Nathan Navarro. Badass. One of my favorite humans. If you do decide to continue your podcast remotely, you should get Nathan or Evan Marion on again. That would be awesome. Yeah, I've had both of them on the show multiple times. Nathan multiple times. I think Evan just once. But yeah, we're all home right now. So I imagine that would be cool. My only concern also is I'm just afraid we're going to be talking about that. Like, I'm afraid it'll be the same conversation. So what are you doing? I already know what you're doing. Well, what are you afraid of? I already know what you're afraid of. Yeah. I don't know how much to, I don't know. We'll see. But yes, I'm hoping to keep going. Joe says bare-faced cab. Okay, it's a thing in England. That's why. That's the reason why. Here in the States, we don't know what's going on in the rest of the world. we don't get the buzz. AJ says bareface is a British cab along with Zilla. Have you heard of them?
No.
No, me neither. That's how Marcus Miller plays. Yeah, a lot of people play this way. You'll see Stanley Clark. You'll see Victor Wooten doing it. Yeah, doesn't change the fact that it's damaging your wrist. So I'm just not interested in it. JC says Robert Trujillo has the healthiest bass posture.
With the crab walk?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, he does play bizarrely low for the right. So his arm is fully outstretched, and then he has
You're
the
right.
left
Yeah,
hand.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
almost upright, you know. But yeah, maybe.
I think, who I think, Adam Neely, he's got great right-hand technique. If you watch him, he keeps both of his wrists very straight almost at all times. I have a hard time with my left hand because I'm short. So if I'm playing down here, naturally I'm going to get a little kink in the wrist, and a little bit is okay. And obviously you can do this for a second and then come back to. It's not to say that like, oh, if you do this, it's the end of the world. It's repetitive, constantly staying in this position hours and hours a day, years and decades in a row. I can already feel it locking up. So I'm just not going to do it. Russell says the tendons for the fingers literally run through the aperture. I don't know what that means. In a wrist bone, bending the wrist rubs the tendons on the bone. Yeah, exactly. That's just anatomy. So Nolly and periphery. Oh, okay. Nolly Get Good uses Zilla cabs. Cool. Bassist from Static in Stereo, Todd Kern's old band. Nope, not ringing a bell. Bass was played hanging on the floor. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess you could do that too. Yeah. Did you ever hear the story of Jamerson? He played pretty much the whole What's Going On album, just passed out, incoherent on the floor. They found him at a bar and set him up on the bass. He couldn't do it. So he fell over out of the chair. They're getting ready to call the session. And Marvin's like, no. Put the headphones on him. Let's roll tape. And he cuts the whole record that way, completely incapacitated.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Also, Gary Willis has some amazing posture. Yes, he does. Very good technique. How are we on time? I can't.
We're about almost 2 hours in.
Holy hell! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, this is much longer than
We've
that.
moved so far away from the orange.
Well, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Use it to do whatever. Well, guys, if you have any other last minute questions, we will answer them. But otherwise, that kind of takes us to the end of the show. So thanks again to Orange for making this happen. We really appreciate you letting us borrow this awesome Terror Bass amplifier cabinet.
I'm not just borrowing it. This is mine.
Hey yo, just kidding. I thought they were just sending it over just for this. Never mind. I'm not that important. Who am I kidding? Let's see. Any last minute questions? Aperture is a posh word for hole. All right. I'll see what I can do with that.
I'm going to start calling people ass apertures now.
Yeah, that's good. Joe says Dan Briggs. Yes. Oh my God. Between the Buried and Me, one of my favorite bands of all time. AJ says, can you make that dirty AD200B sound? Yes. Show us, Chris. How would you do that?
Depends on how dirty you want to go, but
should I use a pick?
Sure.
Why not?
gain. We're not getting as much output from this bass for some reason.
It is a softer output bass.
Well, we got a little bit of gain going on. But here's what else we can do. Let me roll this back so we don't blow anything away. I got a boost back here.
Here's a little secret. He's been holding this back here the whole time.
It hasn't been engaged.
Okay, we
I
haven't
just
been using
turned it
it.
on.
But yeah, so this is an orange. What's this called?
This is the Orange 2-stroke. It's a 2-band clean boost.
2-band clean boost. So how is that getting more distorted?
What you're doing is you're increasing the input level, and it works great with tube, especially tube preamps, because you hit that tube harder, opens it up more,
Right.
gets more gain. So
So basically it's hitting the orange amp harder.
yes, because we have
Gotcha.
this in the front. So off, on. So yeah, there's a little bit of growl, which we also haven't shown the clean switch. Keep going. Turn the clean switch on, it kind of gets rid of a lot of the breakup.
I haven't played Bad Religion in a while. That's what I feel like doing right now. I refuse to abuse what my Yeah, I'm liking that. Can you give me some more smack in the top end?
Sure.
You know what I'm noticing? When I'm playing up top versus when I come back here towards the bridge.
I like that. That's much better.
What's the volume? I got more output when I play back here.
Are we just on the bridge pickup? What pickup is active?
Both of them. It's 100% on
Oh,
everything.
okay. I like that tone much better, though.
That's the J bass, baby. I have to play AFI if I play a J bass with a pick. Yeah, I don't know why. That's just making me want to play punk rock right
Yeah.
now.
Joe Mills says, enter the Bass Butler. That is a fantastic unit. I've done a video on it. Go check it out on the bass channel. It's a biamp rig, about yay big, and it sounds killer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not this. This is a different thing.
This is a totally different circuit. But
I was making sure, like, did we switch? What are we doing
no,
now?
Bass Butler is like a DI unit. It sounds really good, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Can you back off the overdrive a little bit? Yeah, now I want to play Pennywise.
Yeah. I just backed off the boost a little bit.
I've never played that song in my life. That's like the one bass line. It's kind of like for guitar players, it's Sweet Home Alabama. For drummers, it's Wild Thing. For bass players who play punk music, it's absolutely Bro Hymn. Everyone's got to know how to play it. Man, that's awesome. Okay, sorry, we got a whole bunch of things here that I totally missed. Thanks for taking the time to do the gear demo. Hey,
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy too. Stay inside. Don't go out there. Don't get killed. Joe says the Bass Butler. Yes. Hold on. OC clone for my buddy and the Rat. Bad Religion uses orange now. Hey, maybe that's why I thought of it. Woolly Mammoth. I dig those huge swollen pickles.
Way Huge Swollen Pickle is fantastic. That's one of my favorite fuzzes.
Oh, that's a pedal. Okay, good. I was about to say, it sounds like you should see a doctor. AJ says, have you heard the Russian pickle? This is getting worse.
Also a great fuzz.
Yeah, also a great fuzz. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, awesome. Near the neck sounds badass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
again,
does.
man, that's J-Bass all the way. Microtube X. Same thing, man. I am not up with my pedals.
Plus
I
one
know
for the
that's Dark
Microtube
Glass.
X.
I know
Yes.
that one's Dark Glass. But yeah.
That is a fantastic unit.
Big Muff Deluxe Died Straight Ahead album. Yep. Hey, Tom, good to have you back, man. We're actually at the very end. We're about to sign off here. But where is my mind? Bro, I don't even know. This is like my fourth cup of coffee, and I don't drink coffee. So maybe that's where it went. Hey, what are we doing right now? That clean thing is still on?
Yeah, I've turned it down a little bit. So again, let's compare it with off.
I love the way that top end is sounding right now,
Yeah,
dude.
and I
Holy
think
hell.
it is maxed. Top end is
Really?
maxed. Now I want to try.
Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm boosting the top end of the boost.
Ah.
I like that tone a lot.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Ah. 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 I'm just making shit up. Yeah, all of a sudden I just felt like slapping and tapping. That top end is very usable.
Yeah, so this is all the way up, and then now this high end is all the way up. The level's not, but the high end is, and it's a variable high frequency between 850 hertz to 8.5 kilohertz in the top. Bottom goes from 120 hertz to 1.2 kilohertz.
Oh, I like that. Keep that up. I need to work on my slapping. That's what I need to do. Can you bring some of the low end back and scoop out more of those mids a little? And a little bit of overdrive helps out with slap a ton.
Oh, definitely.
Man, it's got a lot of smack to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty awesome.
You know, the Orange sent me a few things, and at the time that it all came, this was kind of what I was least excited about.
Really?
After playing with it, this is my favorite thing they sent me. I'm supposed to do a giveaway on this, but I don't think I want
Here's
to.
the thing. You might not realize it, but when it comes to like doing like like a clean boost, do me a favor, can you pull out some of the top end now just to get rid of the hiss? Like to do a clean boost. Oh shoot, I'm hitting the wrong buttons, guys. Sorry. If you can raise this, so here's something. This is an SM7B microphone, one of my favorite mics. It has a very low output, input, both. So basically, you're gonna have to drive your preamp harder to hear this microphone, which means that you're gonna get more hiss, right? Because that's what happens when we drive up gain. There's a cloud lifter, which is a little, basically it turns phantom power into a 20 dB clean lift. Essentially, you can get this mic hotter, drive your preamp less, and get a more clean sound with less hiss, basically. So this is kind of doing the sort of the same thing. I'm running my bass into it. It's making it hotter, not so that we can drive the preamp less. We want to kind of do the opposite. We want to hit it harder and get it to drive even more. So yeah, clean boost before the preamp stage can do amazing things. Or just, have a hotter output bass. I guess that would do the same. But like to take a passive instrument like this one, which apparently has low output because we weren't able to get a lot of drive out of it, hitting something like that and then running into the preamp, that'll give us kind of a thicker, more driven distortion, I guess. Tom says, don't forget the thumbs up. Yes, please do that. Please give this video a like and a share. Share, why did I say that? Well, you could share it too, I guess. But yeah, that helps us out with our rankings and all that stuff. So really, really appreciate that. Harmonic tone is nice. Did I play any harmonics? I don't really do a lot with harmonics anyways.
Let me bring the high back.
sharp 11. Yeah, harmonics are coming through nice and crystal clear. JC, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here too. Henrik says, thank you for every time educational. Yes, absolutely. Stu Ham in action. I've actually played a show with him back in November. Every time I go to LA, our schedules keep misaligning, but I'll get him on the podcast soon, I promise. Joe says, is that lunchbox rack mountable? Does it come with like rack ears?
It doesn't come with rack ears. I'm sure you could retrofit some rack ears. I've seen people do it, but as it stands, no.
No, but I'm sure they have a rack-mounted version.
I'm sure they do.
That will come out or something like that. Tom says, I just realized I've been putting my tuner in the wrong spot. Yeah, well, these things happen. Hey, for anyone, Tom Straley, this is like one of the most recorded guitar players of all time. So definitely go check out what he's doing. He's amazing. Good friend of mine. Awesome guy. Tom, thanks so much for tuning in today, man. Appreciate it. Joe says, a little Jamiroquai action. You know what? I don't know a lot of Jamiroquai tunes. I love listening to them, but that's a band that like I don't want to. Let me put it this way: there's some songs that I'll never learn. Roundabout by Yes. I mean, like, can I see that pick again?
I think you had it last.
I think I took it. All right, then it's gone. It's here on the floor. Like I know Roundabout. My pick playing is rubbish, but like that's the bass line. I think it goes. I'll never learn what the yama is. I just don't want to. That song is magic. I just want it to always be magic. Because if I know how it goes, now it's not special anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't say that for everything, but there are just some things it's like, I don't want to dive under the hood on that. And Jamiroquai is one of those bands. Here, you should take this. Because it's too good. Every time I listen to it, it makes me smile. It makes me laugh. And if I analyze it and I want it to be magic. That's how I feel. But amazing tunes. AJ, Joe, I love your question. Right in line with what I was asking. Joe, I don't know what your question was, but rack mount. Gotcha. Stuart Zender. Yeah, I know. Stuart Zender and I don't know. They've had a lot of great bass players. I can't remember all of them. But yeah, Stuart Zender is definitely one of the greatest bass players of all time. Definitely, as soon as this live stream's over, go check out his video and then go listen to some Jamiroquai on Spotify. It'll help out. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. I really Paul Turner, that was the other one I was thinking of. Yeah. Seriously, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. If you like this video, please do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel by hitting this button right over here. And if you really like what I do, come hang out with thebassist.net by clicking on that other button down there. And remember that new episodes of the Bassist Podcast go live each and every week. And until next time, we'll see you again here at thebassist.net. Make sure you go find Chris over at the Bass Channel. Adios, amigos. We'll see you.